It is Fox Weather at night. It's been quite a night here watching the success of the splashdown of the Artemis II. All the crew members are safe, and you can see this is actually a live feed from NASA here. We're going to be dipping in and out of this throughout the night over the next couple of hours. Again, all the crew members are safe. The heat shield worked just fine. They've been extracted. They are now aboard the USS John P. Murtha. They'll be going to the sick bay, getting looked at. All standard operating procedure. It'll probably be a little while before we hear from the astronauts, if I had to guess, but there is going to be a press conference coming up before too long, probably within the hour, and we will take that live when it happens. But yeah, I mean, unbelievable. Everything was right down to the minute. Science is just chef's kiss, just beautiful, the way that they work these numbers to be that precise. You know, I want to bring in Destin Sandlin now. I'm really excited to talk to him. My producer, Chris, Destin, has been a huge fan of yours for a really long time. Admittedly, I hadn't seen too much of your stuff, but your YouTube channel is absolutely amazing. You've definitely got a new fan, smartereveryday.com, and you're really into the aerospace stuff, right? You're an aerospace engineer. Overall thoughts on how things went this afternoon and this evening?
It was awesome. Everything about it was awesome. I mean, the people were awesome. The people in the control room, the Navy recovery team, everything was incredible. I was blown away. I thought it was amazing. I got to be at the launch, and it was I don't know. It was just an emotional thing. America's back. We're going for it, and I'm very excited about that.
I'm sure you've been following the mission really closely. Can you think of any parts of the mission specifically that were like your favorite moments? I know they've got a lot of live shots that are going on during it. You got the launch, you got the splashdown. Just overall thoughts on like what your favorite parts of it were.
Oh man, so I love solar eclipses on Earth, and this crew got to experience a solar eclipse around the moon, which I'm pretty confident my brain would just melt if I got to see that. That is the coolest thing ever. And they got some amazing photos of that. They also, I heard Reed and Jeremy, they reported seeing impacts on the moon. We need to hear more about that when we're able to hear from them. I mean, there's so many things they saw with human eyes that I just want to hear from them. I want to hear what they felt.
I mean,
felt
even here on the surface of the Earth, there's a lot of experiences and a lot of places where it's almost like you have to see it with your own eyes to be able to appreciate it. And that's always something I keep in the back of my mind when I'm seeing some of these pictures here. It's like you can see as many pictures as you want, and they are spectacular. Don't get me wrong, but it's like the experiences that these astronauts have, it's really just for them. Like, I don't think anybody else is going to be able to fully understand how cool that must have been to see things like the dark side of the moon and some new craters, etc. Destin, I know you got some kids, right? When you see a mission like this go so well, you think it kind of inspires kids to maybe reconnect a little bit with science and nature, maybe even pursue it as a career? You know, I know you're a big science communicator with kids yourself, so I imagine that must be something that's on your mind, huh?
Oh, no doubt. My right before we started this, I ran in the other room. I was like, I need to go get a rocket or something. And I found a thing that my granddaddy had. My grandfather worked for NASA back in the day. And after people landed on the moon, he got this celebration thing. It was like a party in Huntsville. You were in Huntsville for a while, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. And so there was they got a letter. And the thing that I thought was really interesting is that they had this. It's a certificate from Apollo 8, which was that was the Apollo mission, and the coin fell off when I picked it up off the thing. But they made this coin with metal from the Apollo 8 capsule, and Apollo 8 was the first time humans went around the moon, and we just did it again for Artemis. It was a very similar flight profile, and yeah, I mean that has a lot to do with why I'm an engineer. My grandfather worked on that stuff.
Yeah.
He told me stuff.
Well, you're definitely in the right part of the country for that. I know they got a lot of action in that realm going on down in Huntsville, Alabama. You know, let's piggyback off of that a little bit. You know, sending astronauts beyond the moon, it's obviously quite a daunting task. You know, we've seen what we're doing here with Artemis, but we also had Apollo way back in the day. I mean, it still blows my mind that we were doing this stuff in the 60s. Can you maybe explain some of the differences between the Apollo missions and Artemis? Like, what's the modern angle here to what we're doing now?
Okay, it's very different. So the Apollo was about getting to the moon, right? Kind of flags and footprints. You'll hear it said like that a lot. Artemis is different. Artemis is going to stay. And so we're going to go to the moon. We're going to build habitats. We've learned a lot over the last few years, learning how to live in space in low Earth orbit in the International Space Station. We have a lot more physiological science in the human body. We know how to stay up there for a long time. We're going to take that information, go to the moon, the surface of the moon, and we're going to learn a ton more because we're going to be there for a much longer duration. It's going to be incredible. It's just, I look forward to waking up and seeing what the people on the moon are working on that day. I think it's going to be fantastic.
Oh, that's so cool to even think that that's possible. And the idea that it could happen like relatively soon, I suppose, unreal stuff. I want to talk about the heat shield a little bit. This was something that admittedly, I think if all of us are being a little honest, it's a little nerve-wracking, right? You're like, gosh, I hope the heat shield holds, because every time you see it, not only in the movies, but obviously also in real life, it's a big fireball coming down. They're experiencing temperatures up close to 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit, something like that. They're coming down at like 25,000 miles per hour. I think a little bit less than that to be exact. But maybe some of the differences between like a space shuttle, like the heat shield on that, versus this capsule that they came down in today.
Okay, so I'm not an ablation expert. Okay. So the thing that heat shield does that's so magical is when it heats up, you think it's just like an insulator. It actually burns on purpose. And when it burns, it kind of like flakes off, and that's intentional. They design it to do that. And the idea is to dissipate the heat away from the hull. So you heat up a little piece, and then instead of transmitting that heat down into the capsule and disrupting the integrity of integrity in this case, it'll actually flake off and kind of jet away. And then you're exposing new heat shield material. And then so that's called ablation. That's what they do. I can't tell you the specific differences between the shuttle and this Orion capsule. Not an expert in that area, but I did get to touch some of these tiles at launch. I met an engineer from Lockheed Martin, and he had a tile there, and we had a whole conversation about it. I actually got to record an interview with him, and I look forward to going back and looking at that. Very interesting stuff.
That's really cool, because I know a lot of people were a little bit worried because in Artemis I, there were some issues with the heat shield, like it overall worked. But as I understand it, and correct me if I'm wrong, with Artemis I, they were kind of coming in a little shallow, and it was doing a lot of the skipping type of deal. And when they were looking back at how the heat shield performed, again, as I understand it, I think they had determined that it was because of that trajectory that it had the issues. Now with this one, they came in a little bit steeper, so it was a little bit of a faster entry. Is that correct?
That's what I heard Rob Navius say on the NASA live stream. So I watched it on YouTube's live stream, and basically he said that because they came in so shallow and they did some skipping, they were exposing themselves to that heat for like 20 minutes on a Orion 1, the Artemis I mission. And this, because they went in so steep, I know the blackout period was only 6 minutes, but I don't know what the overall heat duration is. But the way I think of it is, if you're adding heat to a system, you have to be able to get rid of it in some way, right? And the longer you do that, the more it's going to make it through the thickness of that heat shield. That's what I think. I don't know, not the expert. I look forward to digging into the science and learning just like you are.
Yeah, it seems like we have kind of a similar vibe, because I don't mind coming on here and saying, like, I'm certainly not an astronomer. This is not my area of expertise. I've had to learn up a lot about it over the last several days. And yeah, we learn a little something new every day at work, right? Even if you're a meteorologist covering what's going on with
in the parachutes, for example. My mind, when I saw the parachutes pop at the end, I was like, man, that's cool. They're interacting. Everything about this has an expert tied into it, and that's like their whole thing. And that's what's so cool about these missions. We build up a lot of expertise, and we can do other things as a nation and as a people. I mean, this is not an America thing. This is Europe. This is everybody. I mean, Jeremy's from Canada. It was a really awesome thing. I was very proud for humanity in general.
Humanity, that was the word I was going to say there. So, speaking of the next steps here with Artemis, you've got Artemis III, Artemis IV will be coming down the road. Talked about this with Chelsea Torres a little bit during the last block. Artemis III, as I understand it, was recently kind of revised from a lunar landing testing to more of a testing the docking in the low Earth orbit. And then the plan would be for Artemis IV to maybe get some people up to the moon once again. Do you see this as a setback, or
No, no, it's. I think it's the right answer. This is. I mean,
agreed.
There's this document that the Apollo engineers wrote. It was basically said like, this is all the stuff we did that got us to the moon. And one of the things they said is you want to take medium-sized steps. You don't want to take like a giant step, like we did this, now we're going to go do all of this. And you don't want to take a little step because you want to make some progress. So they said medium steps. And I think the new plan for Artemis 3 is a medium step. It's great. And so I was very excited when I heard the plan. I was like, I really like this. They had this big day where they announced everything. They call it ignition. I think that's what they called it. And man, you should really dig into all the stuff that NASA announced. It's fantastic. And so I'm excited, and I think most people are that know what's going on.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot to dig into, that's for sure, over the next little while. All right, we're running a little short on time. Destin, you are phenomenal. I really want to have you back on the show at some point, so keep our number. We'll get back in contact with you.
Cool. Yeah, well, thank you for your time.
No, it was fantastic. And if you want to check out his stuff, he's got some great YouTube videos, smartereveryday.com. You can just look it up on YouTube also. Lots to learn there. Destin Sandlin, aerospace engineer. Thanks a lot for the time tonight, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Ari. Have a good night.